This is Live from the Table, the official podcast of the world-famous Comedy Cellar, coming at you on Sirius XM 99 Raw Comedy, formerly Raw Dog. A change for the better, in my opinion, as Raw Dog was a little bit crude. This is Dan Natterman coming at you with Noam Dwarman here, the owner of the Comedy Cellar. And Periel Aschenbrand is here with us. On the soundboard is our dear friend Max, who looks like a young Bob Dylan, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. We have a guest coming in a bit. She's I guess a psychic.
She's a psychic.
Obviously, and I mean, I'm
psychic though. We're having a lot of trouble getting all the instructions.
I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical. I don't know about Periel. Periel's not skeptical. She believes in this kind of stuff. So she should be coming in about 15 minutes.
So Periel, you believe in psychics?
Of course.
But really believe in psychics?
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Dan. Can we talk about last week?
Oh, yeah. What, do you have any comments to make?
I have a comment when you're all done.
Well, last week, the Felicia Madison,
Felicia
Jeffrey
Madison,
Asmus episode.
You want to go first, Periel?
Should we summarize it briefly for those who were not?
So last week, Felicia, well, you're good at summaries.
All right. We had a comic and a comic/comedy booker from the West Side Comedy Club.
Natterman notes, we called them. Go ahead.
Yes. So they had a dispute because the comic/comedy booker posted some stuff that the comedian perceived as Islamophobic. Among other things, she posted a verse from the Koran, which I guess advocated violence.
I think she said the Quran only had. There's no such. She said there's no peaceful verse in the Quran or something like that. Am I remembering it incorrectly?
I don't know if she said precisely that, but she either said or implied that Islam was an inherently violent religion, and so this comic Jeffrey Asmus said, "Well, I'm not working at your club," and she said, "Well," or maybe she I don't know who started it, but
she called him Islamophobic.
He called her Islamophobic.
Yeah, he called her Islamophobic.
And then she said, well, I don't know
who. Don't like it, lump it.
Basically, and then she said, you're not working here. And he said, I don't want to work at your stupid club anyway. It's a shit club. I'm summarizing and paraphrasing. So that was the dispute. Right. So this, the comic was I'll say he was pro-Palestinian.
You can say that again.
And but he seemed terribly uninformed when put the question.
No. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I mean,
I'm not trying to stir up trouble.
Well, what is your assessment of his level?
I wouldn't say terribly uninformed. I think he was certain things he didn't know, but I wouldn't call him terribly uninformed. But go ahead, Periel. What do you want to say?
Oh, what I have to say is separate from this.
You said you wanted to say something about this.
I didn't know. I said I also want to say something.
Okay, so let me say the following. I'm feeling a little bit bad about it.
I just saw Felicia last night, by the way.
And
there didn't seem to be any upset on her part.
By the way, I think it's important to note that she said that she tried to apologize and he was not interested in accepting her apology.
When was that?
Or here, she said that like she didn't mean it, or she's not Islamophobic, or whatever it was.
She walked it back. If you want to believe her walk back or not, that's a separate question. But she said, well, she didn't post that verse from the Quran to imply that Islam is violent, but just to start a discussion, basically.
All right, this is what I feel bad about. Yep. In the process, it came out, thanks to me, that she had texted me, saying like, why are you using this guy?
Right.
He's pro-Palestinian and he's harassing me.
He posted something like online on Instagram saying basically that the booker of the West Side Comedy Club is an Islamophobe or something like that.
Now, I didn't realize that she worked for a corporate entity. So to some extent, it's not my fault. But I knew that it was her idea to do the show, and I knew that I couldn't, in good conscience, allow her to debate him on the incident and then cover for her about whatever text messages she sent me. That would be as putting my fingers on the scale. So I knew, and I asked her at the show. I knew I would have to read out loud the text messages, but I should have known that the text messages would be very damaging to her beyond the show. And what I should have done was, before the show, suggested to her, listen, if you want to do the show, you have to know that I need to read the text messages out loud, and give her the option not to do it, because now some comedians have gotten a hold of that and they're using it against her. And that was foreseeable. If not to her, to me, I should have seen that. And I feel bad about that. Nothing I can do about it now. Max, what do you say, Max? I know you have some thoughts about it.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I think it's like not a good look to be trying to like blackball other comics just for like personal beliefs in like other clubs. So, I mean, she wanted to come on the show. I don't know. She set herself up for it, kind of. I think like whether it would have been good to give her a little bit of heads up on the reading the text, but I don't know. I think that was just like pretty out of line that she did in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I asked her on the show, can I read text messages? And she said yes, but it's all fun and games, right? It's a fun show, kind of like the Howard Stern show. They're fighting, whatever it is. But this is actually having some actual consequences for her. A situation it had died down. Again, it was her idea to do the show, but now it's come back and maybe worse. And I had a hand in that in some way. And being the wise voice, I probably should have prevented that. So I'm feeling a little.
Instead of turning the show into the people's court, you mean?
Yes, Perry. So, and then to make matters worse, when the show ended, I asked Periel to make sure that they cut out all the Israel-Palestine debate because I was tired of getting trashed about that. It's not relevant to the show. And of course, if you go online now, you can hear the entire Israel-Palestine debate.
Okay, 1 second.
So
this is
so I had to stop the comments on YouTube because I'm tired of being trashed.
Okay, so
you could always just not read them.
No,
But here's the thing.
No, other people read them too.
Okay.
First of all, it's obvious that a lot of those comments are bots, but that's neither here nor there.
Bots? You know what a bot is?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a bunch of nonsense that is just like, it's not a real person. Like, I read the comments. I read the
You think there are bots programmed to place comments about me on my YouTube page?
I think that, okay, I don't,
bots.
Well, they're trolls.
Yeah,
Trolls are not bots.
Okay,
I understand
fine.
that, but they're
trolls.
This is
Whatever.
such a cliche. They're bots.
They're trolls.
Nancy Pelosi, it's bots.
Okay, but this is neither here nor there. This is
you
what
said it.
This is. Well, I misspoke. I meant trolls. This is what I want to say.
Go ahead.
Number one, I
bots. Go ahead.
would like for you to do two things. The first thing I would like you to do is not be a jerk when there's a mistake made. Okay? Because it's really gives me anxiety and it's fucking rude and it's totally counterproductive.
Maybe I need a bot. Bots don't react to it.
So we spoke before I posted the Felicia Jeffrey podcast and we thought about what the title should be. And then I put that title.
Oh, Perry.
No. It's like I made a mistake.
I didn't even bring that up.
I'm bringing it up because it's so obnoxious. Like, am I really fucking not giving a shit and just like letting YouTube auto-populate our titles? Like, do you really not give me like the benefit of the doubt at all?
Not the first time we've had.
It's the second time.
I'm unaware. What happened?
So I go to the YouTube and I'm like, we're not getting many views on this. I go to the YouTube page, and
we were getting a lot of views.
And the title of the. No, I got comments.
And views. We got a lot of views.
Below our normal rate. Anyway, and the comments, I'm sorry, and the title of the YouTube thing is the file name.
It's so basically what happened was
LFTT, blah, blah,
so
blah.
So what happened is
that... That's the thought. And this is similar to something that happened on Spotify. And...
So, okay, very fucking occasionally, like the thousands of podcasts that I've posted.
I've never seen that in anyone else's podcast.
First of all, you wouldn't see that in somebody else's podcast. You're not like going through for errors in other people's podcasts. Anyway, it obviously reverted back to like what YouTube auto-populates the title
It didn't
as.
Revert back. You never put it in.
That's not true.
It doesn't revert.
Of course it doesn't.
Once you save it, it doesn't revert.
Okay, well, that's not true. That's not true.
Why does every technologically semi-illiterate person I know think that there's ghosts in the machine.
There are not ghosts
But
in the machine.
people who are good at tech, nothing ever reverts.
Okay. First of all, I've posted thousands of these for us, and I have fucked up maybe 3 times.
Also, the title was terrible.
It was not. Dan came up with the title, and it was great.
What did I come up with
Dan came
again?
up with it? I'm sorry, never mind.
What did I come? What was the title I came up with?
Mixing business with politics.
Terrible.
Oh. Well, what would you?
You know,
suggest?
you don't get to do that unless you want to be responsible and you're going to answer in a timely fashion and title the episodes, because Dan and I speak and we're thoughtful about it, and you don't get to do that.
Let me tell you why it was bad title.
I would also like you to say, and the other part of it
I'm
is,
sorry.
thank you. I accept your apology. And the other part of this is you oftentimes ask me to edit something out of the serious version of the show and leave the video as is, unless you personally edit the video.
No, Nicole used to edit stuff out.
Right, Nicole's not here.
Right, but that's beside the point. He all right, can I say something why it's a bad title? Periel, what is the purpose of a title?
To give the viewer or potential viewer insight as to what the show is about. It should
Wrong. Max, what is Max, what is the purpose of a title?
To get in the algorithm to boost the views to as many people.
Closer. The point of a title is to get people to watch it.
That's what I just said.
Now, what is if you were gonna describe somebody about this show, like you got to listen to this podcast, you would tell them this comedian says, this.
But
club owner,
did I suggest Booker v. Comic?
No.
This club owner,
But even if you had-
was offended. This club owner tried to call out this pro-Palestinian comic and take away his spots. That's what you would tell them, because I'd be like, holy shit, that sounds good. Business versus, what was it again?
Mixing business with politics.
Yeah, mixing business politics is.
You're saying it's a little too broad?
You want to try to indicate to them a club owner tried to cancel a Palestinian comic and a
Palestinian comic, pro-Palestinian.
a pro-Palestinian comic and a Donnybrook ensued. You want to try to entice them. So this is a problem with a lot of our titles. Do you understand? There's a billion videos out there. You want to cut through. So, I would.
You know what? This is really helpful because this is constructive. Not, I'm really at a loss here. Like, so dramatic.
So what should the title of this episode be?
Well,
Ariel. Now you saw what just happened here. Now, how would you title this?
Dan, it's Dan's job.
Well, it's not my job to title it. You text me periodically and ask for a title. Well, we have to wait till it's over because we don't.
No, just this segment.
Just this segment, dumping on Periel as usual.
I
Ariel,
don't feel dumped on. I feel actually quite vindicated.
Yeah, that's great.
Anyway, okay.
So I'm feeling bad about Felicia and.
So first of all, I do think it's important that you acknowledge the fact that Felicia keeps saying that she wasn't trying to get him, quote unquote, not to work there because of what he said about Israel Palestine. She said that she was upset because he was trashing the club.
Well, I read.
I mean, I don't know.
I read the text messages. That was definitely part of what she said, and that's why I corrected somebody on Twitter. I said, "Listen, be fair. She was getting trashed personally, and she was upset about the politics, and she apologized on the show.
Yeah.
So, it's not fair to drop 2 out of the 3 of the of what I think are the relevant facts. Nevertheless, comedians are going to see it the way they want to see it. People get upset. This is the hot button issue.
Yeah, I get it. All the way
People
around.
need to let it go.
I had a recent video. If we're to finish discussing this,
Yes, we are.
I had a recent video on TikTok that was taken down or violated community guidelines.
What now, Dan?
Well, that's the first time it's ever happened.
Can we show it on the show? You'll send it to us afterwards. We'll cut it in.
Well, no, it's not. It's still on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Can Max find it?
yeah, I guess so. It's on Instagram. It's the last video I posted. If you want to look,
Yeah, he's
for
going to
it.
bring it. He's looking
Okay,
it up.
okay.
Go ahead. You're looking it up.
But
right
on
now.
Instagram didn't take it down, but TikTok did.
Now, what is the nature of the offense?
Would you want to see it, or should I describe?
Well, I'm killing time while he finds it.
Well, the nature of the defense is
Most recent one.
yeah, the TWA.
Right.
TWA. Okay.
Okay.
TWA.
Make sure the sound's on.
We've come a long way in this country because when I was a kid, gay America was in the closet, okay, and trans America was an insurance company. So, I'll just. And there was an airline back then. Anyone remember Trans World Airways? They went out of business, but I don't think they would name an airline Trans World Airways today. You know? What about Transphobe Airways? Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, and you know what I mean by ladies and gentlemen, all right? Well, I got to spell it out for you. You got a cock, you're a gentleman. Anyway, we do expect an on-time takeoff. You got to be careful because somebody could just take the part where I said you got a cock, you're a gentleman, and without any of the context, and they put it online, and then it goes viral, and I have a career. So. All right, that's it.
Is that one of the videos we produced?
No, that's just. I mean, no, that's just they send me the my set after the show, and I just cut it up.
So that's excellent.
Oh, thank you. But obviously, we know why it got taken off.
I'm not sure why to get that.
Well, because
the Chinese are very trans.
I guess because I'm saying you got to cock, you're a gentleman. The very part that I said, well, if you took it out of context, it would upset people, is probably the part. It probably got. I mean, I don't know. There's like an algorithm that looks for things, or if somebody reported it. But in any case,
well, TikTok is for a generally younger crowd. So maybe I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason.
But
my wife's practically banned from Instagram.
I think I clicked like appeal, but nothing happened. But anyway, whatever. It was a hot button issue, so I was hoping maybe we get some traction, but it got pulled. So.
But how to do an Instagram?
Okay, not amazing. Not my.
Is it on our Instagram?
No.
Well, we have like 1 million followers. I mean, why don't?
Well, because it's not up to me what goes on your Instagram.
Yeah, but if we produce it, then we put it on our channel.
Okay, so
can you send it to Liz? We'll put it on our channel.
Okay, fine.
Does it?
You should. What you should.
Well,
do,
because
wait,
I
listen
just
to me.
figure that I don't know how the process works to get shit on your channel.
Speak up for yourself.
Okay.
Listen, what you should do is you should take it off of your Insta and do a collab with the seller. You have to. You can't do that
take it off.
retroactively. That's
Take
right.
it off.
That's right.
And do a collab.
Ask Liz. She'll tell you how to do it. That's first class clip. We need
It's
that.
great.
Okay.
It's hysterical. You're very funny, Mr. Natterman.
Oh, thank you.
And a little transphobic.
No, he's not.
All right. What else? While we're waiting for Dr. Harra, Carmen Harra, right?
Yeah, she's so nice. I spoke to her on the phone today.
What country is she from?
I'm not sure. I didn't ask.
All right. What else, Dan?
Well, I've joined the 2020s, and I got a subscription to Apple Music instead of buying songs one at a time. I think I mentioned this
Why
to you.
not Spotify?
Well, because Apple just sent me like, hey, sign up for... and so I just click, because whatever.
Okay.
They're the first ones that got to me, and, I just say yes to the first one that comes. But, so now I have access to 80 trillion songs.
Yeah.
Which is all fine and good, but now I got to find songs I like. This has actually pushed me for the first time in my life to search for music. And hunting, I have gone in search of songs that I'm not tired of.
Most people listen to the same 50 songs over and over.
Well,
right?
but I don't want to do that. If I'm going to pay a whopping $10 a month, I'm going to get my money's worth and hunt and search. And I have found some gems. They're gems for me. They may not be gems for anybody else. But I have discovered, first of all, I ventured into the waters of country music, into those muddy Mississippi waters of country music. Folk. There's a great song by Tracy Chapman that I never knew about called Sub City.
Mm-hmm.
Any ever hear of it?
No.
Didn't you go to college with her?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
Noam did, yeah. Anybody ever hear of Joan Armatrading?
Yes.
Yeah, this chick's a beast.
Yeah, she's great. This is old music.
What's that?
This is old music. This is $10 a month.
Yeah, it's old music, but no, it's new to me.
they sucked the blood out of the music industry, didn't they? It used to be when I was a kid. When I was a kid in the 70s, an album cost $6-7 for 10 songs.
Yeah, but usually only like 1 or 2.
Right, but I'm saying you bought you'd buy.
$10, yeah.
I had
Hundreds.
hundreds, if not 1,000 record albums for $7 a pop of 1979, 1978, whatever dollars, right?
Yeah, which is like 30.
Now, you have every song for $120 a month, a year, which is what in 1979, which is $30 maybe in those $20. Like it's absurd, and that money has to be spread around everybody. I mean, who knows? Maybe Max could look it up. How much less money is being spent to buy music than used to be?
Yeah, the only advantage is that people might be listening to artists like I'm doing that they otherwise wouldn't have listened to and discover them. And not that I'm going to go to their shows, but
No, aren't they all dead?
No. Tracy Chapman's certainly not dead, and Joan Armatrading I don't think is dead.
I don't think she's dead.
And there's a bunch of others that that just 2 that I mentioned, but yeah, they got to make it on personal appearances, I guess nowadays.
She's
it's just
here.
like there are certain things.
Max.
Spotify
Sorry.
pays 3/10
No, that's not a tenth.
of a penny. Right?
Oh, maybe of a penny. Yeah.
Yeah, per stream.
Per stream.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, 3/10 of a penny.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Anyway, so but I meant the total number. So so that's the music business. It's one of these things that there's a few things which nobody sees coming, and the bottom just drops out of something. Music business. I had friends who were heavily invested in payphones.
Right.
I know people who bought taxi medallions before Uber. Right? It's like you just never know what's going to happen. But this is one I don't think anybody saw coming. And I guess movies are still making money, right?
I don't know what's going on.
Not
with
quite in the
movies.
same way, but
I don't know what's going on with movies.
all right. So I'm not a psychic, but I think we're having trouble with the
But I mean, the musicians couldn't kind of band together and say, this is. I mean, I guess not. I mean, is there like ASCAP or something? I mean, or the record companies that just say, no, we're not giving it away. You got to pay us per stream, whatever, some reasonable amount.
It is apparently a very controversial issue in the music business, but I guess they don't have the leverage. I mean, Prince, I think Prince wouldn't let himself be streamed or something. Like Prince fought it for a long time, but I guess if they all banded together, and the thing is, they also don't own their publishing, a lot of them.
But the record companies can band together. That's a lot easier to do. There's less of them, and they have a lot more power.
Yeah, it's not clear to me whether the record company, which has an aggregation of all the music, many of those albums would lose money. Like, I'm not sure if they get hurt as badly as the individual artists. I'm not sure how that works. But I'm sure the record companies take a hit also. You know what? I don't know what I'm talking about because the artists get streamed. But whatever it is, obviously it's crazy. I mean, you can work backwards and know that you used to spend, everybody individually used to spend many people spend $100 a year, and now it's Anyway.
Hey, we're joined by Carmen.
There she is.
How do you do? Carmen Harra, the world-renowned
Hi.
intuitive psychologist, relationship expert, best-selling author, radio show host, and TV personality. And we welcome her among us via the miracle of teleconferencing. How do you do tonight?
Me, I'm doing great.
Oh, good. We're good to have you here.
Turn her up a little bit. Listen, we're very excited to have you. We have a lot of questions about.
Okay, fabulous. I'm waiting for the question.
Okay, so wait, Max, got to turn her up a little bit. Talk again. Talk again. Talk. Say one, two.
Can you hear me?
Louder.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay. No. Our tech guy has you. Okay. So that's the first question. Well, Okay, so you are both a trained psychologist
Mm-hmm.
and a psychic.
No, I'm intuitive. It's an ability of the brain to transcend, to bridge the two levels of the brain, the left hemisphere with the right. So, there is there are two glands on the top of the head that can connect the two hemisphere. Is the cognitive mind. You operate on the cognitive mind right now,
Yes.
and there's the subconscious mind. So if you bridge the two levels, then you use something that is called intuition. It's an ability of the brain that everybody has. And some people call themselves psychics, but they don't know exactly why they call themselves psychics. And I'm giving you the sort of medical explanation why, it's possible to connect and be more intuitive if you want to be. It's your decision.
So you're not a psych. You don't believe in like supernatural powers?
No, I do believe in supernatural. Since the dawn of time, we believe in the supernatural. And I do believe that there's divine and that there's a way to connect with a force beyond the cognitive. So there is a divine energy that exists within ourselves, actually.
So, okay. So let me, Periel, what's the matter with you? All right, listen. So I'm very interested in this stuff. And first of all, I'll be honest, put my cards on the table. Well, you probably know this. I'm skeptical of
Fabulous. I'm skeptical too. So
yeah, but that's fine. But I respect. So, and also you're a trained psychologist.
yes,
So,
I have a degree in clinical psych. I studied medicine at Cornell, and now I'm a student at Harvard. So I'm studying medicine at Harvard too right now.
Harvard, Harvard.
Harvard
Yeah.
Medical.
Yeah. So that's fascinating too. All right. So let's take. So
I'm fascinated with medicine because
And-
I do believe that we should know more about how to treat ourselves beyond the system,
And
the
you- and-
billion-dollar system.
and you believe in numerology. So this is what I want to
I
know.
believe in numerology because it makes sense, it's the timing of our life. And, you cannot see the world without numbers. Everything connects with a form of energy that is translated in a number. I've studied numerology 30 years ago in New York with a Harvard professor, with a mathematician, and he made me really believe in the power of numbers as defining, our life in many respects.
So let's talk about a little bit how this all comes together in our lives and what we can learn from that. So let's just take something that everybody has in common. Many people, I'm married. So first question would be in my mind, and feel free to jump in, guys. Does it matter the date that I get married? Does numerology matter? Because I know some Chinese traditions, it does.
matter. Everything matters when it comes to the time. Everything matters. So it depends which day you get married. It depends which personal year you get married. It depends which pinnacle in your life you get married. It also depends what kind of an archetype you have and what kind of an archetype your wife has.
So what are
that
archetypes?
Are you really a match?
Tell us what archetypes are. Well, first, what's that?
so-
Hold on, one step at a time. So maybe you can start with archetypes. We'll get back to the dates because there's a day we
So-
get married. There's a date of our birthdays. There's a lot of dates, right?
Okay,
The
yeah.
date we.
But archetypes are defined by numbers, but also archetypes, it's a term in psychology introduced by Carl Jung. Carl Jung was inspired by Plato, the same time when Pythagoras created the Western numerology, that is the foundation of the bank accounts today, so the foundation of numbers. But by the same time, 2,500 years ago, two Greek philosophers, on one side was Pythagoras, on the other side Plato. They both defined this concept, and I tried to put it together.
So when you say Pythagoras, you mean we call it Pythagoras. That's what you're referring to?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Pythagoras in the Greek, the way you pronounce it, would be Pythagoras. I mean, it depends on the accent.
No,
and
I'm not
on
correcting the pronunciation. I just wanted to make sure I understood what you were.
What matters for the people listening
Yeah.
is that Plato created the theory of forms, and Carl Jung, the student of Freud, developed the concept of a form into the human archetypes. A human archetype defines who you are, defines your personality trait, your capacity to love, your weaknesses, your strength. Everything about who you are is defined in your human archetype. Now, the question is, are you a match with your wife who has a specific archetype, maybe very different than yours? It may or may not be energetically a match, and that explains that out of the 100 marriages, 50, more than 50 end up in a divorce.
Well, my wife's Puerto Rican, so you could probably predict her
That's
archetype.
nothing, but it has something to do. She must be beautiful. Puerto Rican women are gorgeous.
They tend to an archetype. So how do we analyze our own archetypes? And give us some examples of some
Like,
archetypes.
For instance, if you're a number one, let's say people don't understand how you are a number one. You take the month you born, the day you born, the year you born, reduce everything to a single digit, and let's say you come up to number one. You're number one, you're a very independent. You have a hard time committing to somebody. You go to numerous divorces. Larry King, the famous Larry King, he was married 7 times. He was the number one.
Wait, how do you reduce it? What do you mean reduce it to a single digit? How do you do that?
So you add up. Like I'm born March 25th. So 2 plus 5 is a 7. I'm March is a 3. 3 plus 2, 5, which is a 7. 3 plus 7 is a 1. 0 doesn't exist in numerology. 0
okay.
is a multiplier.
Wait, the year
and
doesn't.
you add the 1 to the year when I'm born, and the year is reduced to a single digit. So let's born you born in 1960. 1 plus 9 plus 6 plus 0 who doesn't exist, we equal a 7. And 7 plus 1 is an 8. So that it means you're a number 8. If you're number 8, you're a workaholic. 8 is money. 2024 is money because 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 equals 8. 8 this year is the year of revolution, the year of restitution, the year of earthquakes, the year of Republicans taking over the Democrats, is a year that brings a lot of stuff because it's a number year that has a lot to do with money. So I'm just giving you an example in which way a number addressed to the year you are in has a lot to do with everything that's happening in the world right now. So even the fact that 2, 0, 2, and 4 is a feminine number has to do with Trump running against Haley and not to a man. So the fight between the man and the woman has a lot to do with 2024. On top of it, Trump losing in front of a woman in court has a lot to do with 2024 because it's a feminine year.
Now, here's a question. This is a skeptical question.
Yes.
There was a time on planet Earth when people used a different calendar. And the numbers.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Did the numerology, like if let's say they're using the Jewish calendar, would it be the Jewish numbers they added up to? Or was it always the Roman calendar, but they didn't know what the numerology was?
But I don't know if, you know what I mean? You go back to the ancient Kabbalah, that's a different story. I'm only analyzing from the point of view of the Greeks. I'm only the different numerology, the Chaldean numerology, the Vedic numerology. So we're going into different systems of calculating time. I'm applying to the Western numerology. I'm not talking about the ancient teaching of Kabbalah, but Kabbalah is the essence of everything. I'm a very convinced Jewish woman, you know what I mean? Who I believe in Kabbalah.
You're a Jewish woman?
Yes.
But you're not born. Where are you originally from?
I was born in Romania, but there are a lot of Jews in Romania, and there are, you know what I mean? We are very.
You're born Jewish in Romania, or you're converted to Judaism?
No, I converted to Judaism. My husband was from Israel. Yeah.
I see. So now, when you're doing therapy, let's say couples therapy, if two people come in and you get their numbers, and you're like, oh no, this should have never happened. Do you say save your money? Your number, just get divorced.
I used to do couple therapy in New York, and I met Jennifer Lopez in 2003, and she was involved with P. Diddy. And I told her, you're a 3, he's a 4. Forget about it. Run away from him with the speed of light, because something bad is going to happen. And that's exactly what happened between Jennifer and P. Diddy. Then I was the one telling her 20 years ago that her husband now is actually the real soulmate because they are a match. She's a 3, he's a 6. That works. They work together. You know, so you have to understand what works and what doesn't in the energy field, and has nothing to do with Western numerology, Chaldean numerology. It has a lot to do with the energy we are born of, you know?
Years ago, this is a funny story. Years ago when I used to be a musician, Mark Anthony, I don't know when he was with Jennifer Lopez at the time, and he came down to the Cafe Wa, and we were all hanging out. Me and some musicians were hanging out in front with him, and it's great. And then the phone rings, and it was Jennifer Lopez on the phone, and he's like, Oh God! Like Jennifer Lopez. It's like, and it's like, yeah, honey, yeah, I'm with the guys, like, just bullshitting her,
But
like any dude with any number three. That she must have been a number
But
three.
I'm gonna tell you, he's a 5. So Mark Anthony is a 5. She was a 3.
Oh, you don't have to
In
tell
my
me.
book, 3 and 5 are transition. That's not gonna last.
Yeah. Well,
So I had somebody from Us Weekly after she got married to Mark Anthony. And I said, no way this is going to work. It might work for a period of time. It lasted 7 years. And it fall apart because 3 and 5 are not going to be a match in time, just temporary. It's a transitory relationship, you know?
Now-
just can I
go ahead.
just clarify how this is calculated? So the numbers in my birthday add up to 18. So does that mean I just add the 8 and the 1 and get 9? Is that how that would?
18. A 1 plus 8 is a 9. So you're a number
So I'm a
9.
9. Yes,
So humanitarian.
I'm a humanitarian.
Good. Yeah, you like to help the world. People don't really understand you because you're very deep. In a way, you can be an introvert. I don't know if you see that about yourself. You have a hard time. You hide things about yourself, but you love to do good.
Well,
And
yeah, I hide a lot of stuff, but I do hide. But well, I certainly hide some stuff. We were talking about a threesome I had in Aruba a few weeks ago. I didn't hide that, but
I'm a 6.
yeah.
The 6, I love the 6. The 6 is the hopeless romantic.
That's Noam, all right.
These are the people that are the love of the world, you know.
Wait, how do you do this?
Oh, we got to figure that out. So let me ask you some more questions. So now, what else can you tell us from this? Can you tell us? Do you have any insight into who's going to win the election by the numerology?
Well, this year is the year of surprises. This year, everything we expect is going to happen completely opposite. What I know for sure, the Democrats are going to lose this election. That I know for sure. But I'm not convinced that Trump will be our president. So I don't know what's going to happen here because the way it looks like it's going to be Trump against Biden. And it's obvious that Biden is going to lose. The problem is Trump going to be our president? The answer is no. So then what's going to happen? The unexpected. This is the year that's going to surprise us, starting with the month of March, with everything we cannot even imagine. It's beyond our imagination. That's why it's called a karmic year. This year brings back everything that could have happened in time. Like this year is the year of the dragon and it's the year of karma. So it means repetition of the things that happened. If we go back in 1952 was a karmic year and was the year of the dragon. And you guys, do you remember what happened in 52? What was the major element of 1952? Putin was born. Queen Elizabeth became queen. The Republicans took over the Democrats. The biggest earthquake took place in California. We discovered the atomic bomb. So events like 52 are brought back in this year, shaking humanity. So things that we can watch and see what's going to happen in Russia in March. Watch and see what's going to happen through the course of the year that totally will blow my mind. Plus, this is the year when people are going to march in the street and express their dissatisfaction, their pain. It's like the year of revolution and justice. This is to define 2024.
Not to be, but it wasn't the atomic bomb, or maybe the high. How did it work? Was there a hydrogen?
Hydrogen
bomb.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. So
Right.
now. All right, so Trump's not going to be president. I think we made news here tonight. Trump is not going to be president.
But it's not going to be Biden
And it won't be
either.
Biden either.
Disappoint a lot of people who love Trump, but expect the unexpected. I don't even think Trump wants to be president, to tell you the truth. It might look like this.
I know
but
what he
you
wants.
know what's happening within Trump.
He doesn't want to be
Within
president.
himself,
He wants the satisfaction
Got it. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
of winning after they chase it. So now what did all this tell you about COVID? Were you expecting COVID? What kind of insight did you have into COVID about? Do you think COVID was a natural phenomenon? Do you think it was created by man-made? What do you
Man-made. I mean, a lot is man-made. Money is man-made. COVID is man-made. Illnesses are man-made. Suffering is man-made. Banking system is man-made. Everything is man-made at a deeper, very, how should I say, we don't really bring the divine within this world. That's why this world is in so much anger, trouble, conflict and war.
But you mean man-made in a laboratory?
Yeah, man-made in a laboratory, 100%.
And what Would you
And
say
will
that
be revealed. This will be revealed that this is man-made. Will come to the surface.
probably by people who were years of the dragon? No, I'm
Maybe.
kidding. China.
No
But anyway,
question that comes
so
to it.
so you believe COVID was man-made, and no, but now, and that's based on what your insight into karma. Like, what, like I'm interested. Like, how does explain the thinking that brought you to the conclusion that COVID was man-made? It's not something you read in the New York Times.
COVID is a karmic disease.
Karmic.
Diseases that are karmic are diseases that come back. If you go back 100 years ago, there was another, big, what was the
flu,
Spanish
1918.
flu.
Yeah.
Spanish flu.
So
Spanish flu.
events keep on repeating karmically around 100 years. Watch and see what's going to happen in 2029, going back to 1929 when the crash happened. So we rapidly go towards the collapse of the monetary system, in which we will eliminate the cash and will only have the electronic monetary system in the years ahead. The fall of the bank is, I said all of this in my first book 25 years ago. I talk about the collapse of the banking system. All the problem we're facing today, I actually mentioned in my first book.
So you are heavily invested in Bitcoin, then, I would imagine?
I will not invest in Bitcoin because that's also something that is not going to work. There's like a system that is going to be put in place in the next 2-3 years that is not yet established.
All right. So tell us, karma is something that we all think about a lot. We'd like to think that if we do good things, that good things will happen to us. I guess we rationalize if bad things happen to us, maybe like something bad. If bad things happen, when bad things happen to me, I assume that my wife has bad karma, and this is the way God's gonna get even with her. But I'm just like a tool. But can we judge based on our own good or bad luck whether we've been good or bad people? Is that a good?
No. Karma is a very complex concept. It's the totality of your action, of your thoughts, of your intention.
Thoughts, even your thoughts.
But there's personal karma, there's family karma, the family you're born into. Sometimes, you carry the family karma on your shoulder and you see a lot of bad stuff happening to you, but you're a good person. You did nothing wrong. But that karma will manifest. Karma also calcified into your physical, into your body. So diseases are karmic. Karma also means repetition. It's way more a complex process than the Newtonian concept of what goes around comes around. So not only, I did a lot of good stuff and yet bad is continuing happening to us. Look at humanity, the karma of mankind. Whatever mankind has created for thousands of years has a payback now. So we're paying, because you used to say the karma is the law of restitution. And 2024 is the year of restitution and the year of justice. And probably by the end of the year, people will understand what I'm really talking about. You may not get it right away, but this year will reveal what karma means terms of repeating things that happen already.
Can I ask one question so I know the answer to this before, because it matters? Do you believe in the concept of a soul? In other words, because what I was thinking, and then I want to get to Dan, like, children die young. And what you're saying is sounds very unjust, that somehow his family or somehow he's suffering, the child that dies young, it gets cancer or something, is suffering for the karma of other people. But maybe his soul is going to pass on to a happier existence more quickly. So maybe it's not so terrible as it seems to us. So do you believe in the concept of an afterlife and a permanent life of the soul?
Absolutely. I believe in afterlife. And I also believe that if you leave this earth and go in a higher dimension and you left things unresolved, you might be tempted to come back. Because we are a form of energy, and Einstein used to say energy never dies. So you can come back in the flesh and finish the business you never finished. So, and also believe that your numerology will tell you how long you live. So on your numerology is a very clear indication how many years you're going to spend on earth. And it also shows you when do you have a point in your destiny when it's most likely that you're going to exit this world. So it's fascinating to understand numerology and know how you will go through your life, and when is the moment when you need to be careful of something happening to you, and how can you, if there's any way to prevent things from happening. So that's why I promote this science, because it's a science and it's interesting for people to get much more out of it. Most likely finding out your longevity. I think to me it's interesting to know how long you're going to be on Earth.
Go ahead, Dan.
Well, I just wanted to know if you'd be willing to come back at the end of the year
Yes,
to discuss
absolutely.
what you
I will
had.
actually come back sooner on your show. Watch and see.
Well, we'd like to after the election. You had some interesting predictions about the election, so we might want to have you back to recap.
Yes, I would love that.
Now,
And I'm very grateful for you having me, guys. I'm very grateful.
we're enjoying this. I want to ask, of course, we don't let anybody off the show now without asking about the Arab-Israeli conflict and what insights does your expertise bring to that conflict?
Do you see what karma means? You just look at the Middle East conflict, which I predicted on Fox 25 years ago on a TV show. I said that's actually the beginning, of the so-called Third World War. So this is where the danger is, for the world to expand war. And this is another thing that is very concerning for humanity. And what's happening here goes back to a fight that exists for thousands of years. That part of the world originated war. War goes back to the Middle East. That's what war was created originally. And Earth has karma, and something that happened in a specific time of the Earth will repeat again. Like First World War happened one place, second one in the same place. So when things keep on repeating, but there is a danger with the war over. There is a danger that this war will expand and become something bigger. I don't want to give bad news to everybody. Let's just pray that that's not going to happen,
Now, I mean, this doesn't sound good for the Jews, does it? I mean, a lot of bad things keep happening to us.
Yeah, I don't know why it's happening to us, because we such good people and we don't deserve it.
According to you.
I by the Jews, and I really want the Jews to be fine, and I think they will be.
Oh, that's good.
I want everybody to be fine, but I'm not following
Yeah,
it.
I want everybody to be fine. I agree with you.
But
Probably I did something wrong. I apologize.
it doesn't seem good, or karma doesn't seem good. Okay, Periel, you have some questions?
I actually hi. Hi. I was actually really interested in what you had to say about Israel, but you already asked her. And also, I think it's interesting that you're from Romania and your husband was Israeli.
Yes.
All right, so okay, so
I in New York, actually.
You
Although
what?
I came to Israel and moved to New York.
You lived in New York.
Sorry, New York.
moved to. So okay, so before we go, I brought up your website here, and there's a lot
She
of
has a new book out, by the way. She wants to.
What's the name of the new book?
The new book is called +1: The Numerology of Relationship.
Ah, okay. So it's related to this. So on the website, you have lots of videos here. I didn't watch them, but I'm looking at the names of them. But the website is chock full. So everybody should go to her website, CarmenHarra.com, CarmenHarra.com. So a little bit here. You go signs of a toxic relationship. What are the signs of a toxic relationship?
When there's toxic relationships are really dangerous, in my opinion, because people argue so much. There's so much bickering. There's so much disagreement, and there are relationships that are toxic all the way from the beginning. And you look like Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. That was a toxic relationship, and there's no way to fix it. You just have to run away with the speed of light because it ends up very bad. It becomes aggressive, abusive, and nobody should stay in a toxic relationship. If you feel that you guys cannot reach common ground and you cannot act, with compassion and love and in alignment and agreement with each other, then put an end to it. There's no way of staying in a toxic relationship.
Don't get therapy. Just put an end to it.
No, put an end to it. The therapy will not do it.
I'm with you, by the way. I'm happy to hear a therapist is skeptical of the therapy because
Well, she's scheduled therapy for couples, not therapy in general.
Yeah, well, I did couple therapy. And whenever I saw a toxic relationship, I told you guys don't take up my time. Go away, separate ways.
when is therapy the most effective?
Is effective in many cases. For instance, we were talking about losing somebody, young. If you lost a child, if you were betrayal, if you depress, there's so many cases. We can talk for hours when therapy is efficient and productive and can change your mindset, because it's important to switch, those addictive emotion of negativity, of sadness, of hate, of anger that are dominating people sometimes. And therapy is influential in changing that.
What do you feel about medications?
I've studied a lot lately medicine, and as I'm going to Cornell, I'm studying at Harvard. I'm studying, the impact on medication, and I'm a firm believer that there are things that can be done naturally, so that you don't depend of serotonin receptors when you can take Travacor. Travacor is developed by science, and is something natural that can made of GABA and made of taurine, and that can boost the neurotransmitters in the brain and create balance within those catecholamines. So immediately, depression can be alleviated. You sleep better, you feel better, you envision the world as a better place. So you are in harmony with your mind.
All right. Well, listen, I don't claim to have telepathy, but I get a vibe from you, honestly, that you are a very happy and warm person and a pleasure to meet. And I would like very much to meet you in person. I don't think I'm a believer in all the mumbo jumbo, and also it would depress me to think that we are so much hostages to being born at 11:55 or 12:05 a.m. This seems quite unfair in the course of the
Well,
universe.
I don't believe we're hostages to that, but I do believe we're hostages.
Because you believe there's no free will.
Well, yes, I don't believe in free will.
Yeah.
So
You don't believe in free will, or you do believe?
I do not. I do not
free will.
believe in it.
You don't believe in free will?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has a Newtonian.
Well, I don't know how one logically could believe in free will, but do you? No.
But you have the free will to like me or the free will to dislike me.
Well, I don't
It's
know
your
that I do.
will.
My brain is telling me. Look, I
You
learned
are not dislikable. Go ahead.
I learned about free will one time when I smoked too much marijuana, and became
You
so.
see, you're a number 9.
Well,
You have
that's
a
yes.
tendency
Well,
towards
guilty as
addictive
charged.
emotion.
No, but I'm not. But
So that doesn't surprise me. If I look from the spiritual perspective about your divine codification, everything you say makes sense and is in alignment with who you are, numerologically speaking. But you have a specific archetype, and the archetype that you have is fabulous because you're a very well-rounded individual. You're very loving, caring. Besides this appearance, you know what I mean? You have a good heart. You have a good heart.
Well, the
You
point I
love
wanted to
the
make,
world.
the point I wanted to make about marijuana is, I became so paranoid, and I realized my brain. I don't control my brain. My brain is an organ that does what it's
That
going
I
to do.
agree. Yeah, that I agree.
And it decided that I was going to think the cops were coming, and that's what I thought.
Yeah, I agree with that. But and yet, taking marijuana is a form of addiction, and has a lot to do with your neurons in the brain forming an alliance and a dependency.
Well, but I'm not a regular user.
The world today, the addiction. We are in a world that is very addicted to many things, to substances, to emotion, to behavior, pattern of behavior. So if you can break through the addiction of the world, we can bring normality and harmony in this universe and in our world and in the world overall.
Well, I'm not a regular user, but I do chew gum quite a bit.
Marijuana gum?
I know which
No,
one
just
you-
Trident bubble gum.
All right. Well, anyway, so we're going to let you go, Dr. Harra. Harra or Hara? How do you pronounce it? Hara. So, but we learned that Trump will not be president. Someone else will be. It won't be Biden. And we should short the stock market in 2029.
And Bitcoin is to be avoided.
Bitcoin's to be avoided. Stay clear of number ones.
Depends what your number is.
Oh,
I don't think you can say it.
Oh, well, if you want to know, does your book give us the details of which numbers?
Yeah, it details everything. It defines every human archetype based on this energetic way of expressing yourself through the numbers. So in other words, every number is associated with a human archetype. And you cannot deny the human archetypes. They exist in psychology.
Oh,
They're
wait.
branch of psychology.
Before you go, just yay or nay. Horoscope.
Yeah, I believe in horoscope.
Tarot cards.
No, I'm not a tarot cards. Tarot cards come from the tarot, from the thorax. So but I don't necessarily.
What do you think about a number?
Wait.
Sorry.
Bumps on the forehead.
No.
No. Tea leaves.
No.
Palms. Palm reading.
Up to a certain degree, yeah.
Fortune cookies.
No.
No. Okay.
I just wanted to ask you: are number fives generally known to be authoritarian types?
They are free spirits. They don't like to attach. Number 5 doesn't like to attach.
Well,
Number five
Hitler
is
never
the-
had a girlfriend, so
the creation in the ancient teaching of Kabbalah.
like he did have
Because
Eva Braun,
young.
but
Doctor,
Yeah.
I don't know if you could hear because of the thing. Hitler was the number 5, Dan tells us.
Who was
Hitler. You've heard of him.
Hitler? If he was a number 5, that's why he died the way he died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. He was a free spirit.
it was
All right.
Well, he was, I guess.
Well, it's all about, you know what I mean? There are major archetypes and recessive archetypes. He must have been not only a free spirit because he was such a monster, so there were many other things that define him. You can't just simply say because he was that number that describes him.
I watched on YouTube just a Hitler speech the other day. Have you ever done it?
No, I've heard him. I mean, he's a fairly good speaker.
He spoke for a long time. The speech was like an hour and a half. I think I watched almost 40 minutes of it. He took his time. He did not have one or I presume he was reading it, but it was almost memorized. He didn't misspeak one time. He didn't stutter. He started very calm, and then he built into this crescendo. I mean, it was quite a performance, just as to try to understand how this guy was so powerful. I'm sure there are many other elements that allowed that, but one had to admit that was. I had no idea. I'd never really listened to a Hitler speech that way. Anyway, I mean, you listen to Barack Obama or any normal politician, they misspeak, or Joe Biden, but any of them. I mean, this guy, I've never heard anything like it. All right. Anyway, but that's how 5s are. Anyway, Doctor, we really was honestly a pleasure to meet you. I'd love to meet you again. Any last words, or was I going to let you go?
So the pleasure is mine.
Thank
And
you.
you guys are fantastic and you're phenomenal. I wish to know much more about you by you giving me your birthday.
I'll give me.
I have
Yeah,
a
well-
sense of your human archetype. Just as a psychologist, I see through you guys. So
I got it. Next time we'll have another show. I'll bring my wife on because she's a piece of work.
Yeah.
And we'll give you all our birthdays, and Perry will
Yes.
give you your husband's birthday, and then we'll
would
do
be
that.
So much fun.
Oh, that'd
So
be great.
much fun.
Okay. All right. So long, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank
I
you.
love you guys.
Bye. Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Love you.
Well, I think one could make a good case of Hitler being a free spirit. He certainly traveled his own path.
How charming is that woman?
I told you.
Don't put a whole lot of stock into her theories of
No, yeah, of course not.
birthdays and all of that.
What do you mean? What? Of course not. First of all, didn't I tell you I spoke to her on the phone? She was you got it the second you talked to her. She's so warm. It radiates.
Oh,
really.
she's a delight. She
I
was
mean,
great.
now humanitarian. I don't know that that's the best way to characterize me.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a stretch.
And she jumped on the marijuana thing. I never use marijuana. I just
Well, you told her.
no, but she said your addictive personality, which is not the case.
All right, whatever. How do you know? Anyway, I think she was terrific. We really should do another show. I don't know how the guests will feel about it, but
Yeah, but if Trump gets elected, then she may not want to come back on.
I think she's right about everything.
I think she's going to have an explanation. They always do.
They seem to, yeah.
But well, now before we go, you're gonna have to edit a little bit of this, Max. Yeah. Periel, you believe this extraterrestrial mumbo jumbo?
Don't.
You mean paranormal, not extraterrestrial.
Just being,
Specifically what?
Like
what are you asking
You
me?
think there are supernatural forces out there?
I believe in
which explain things in a way that we can't possibly understand.
Yes, I believe in energy, and I believe in.
Now, what does that mean? You believe in energy?
Well, we all believe in energy.
No, I not like I believe that there's energy, and like when you do something good, you're creating good energy, and that has an effect. I believe that.
Will someday science develop a meter?
No, because it's not like that. It's not like that.
What do you believe happens after death?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think that something happens.
A lot of well, to quote Louis C.K., a lot of things happen, but you won't be around. You won't be around to see it.
I think a lot. I mean, I think that your energy does continue on.
Well, absolutely, of course it does. And your matter and your energy continue on, but that won't do you a whole lot of good.
Well, I don't know what that means. What do you mean? Like, for example, sometimes like something will happen, and you're like, "That's a sign." Like the universe is at play. Like sometimes, like we were doing. I was writing something and. I kept saying that, like, I really thought we should have, like, 18 chapters in this thing because of, like, whatever it was. And then when I finished writing the proposal, guess how many pages it was?
18.
72.
Which is
what does that have to do with
multiple of 18?
Yes.
I mean, you're kind of a stretch, don't you think?
No, not at all. Not at all. Like, and people were like, "Oh, I don't really think it matters." And I was like, "No. It has to have 18 chapters." Like, I feel like the numbers, and you know me, I'm not like a big number person, but that's like a sign that it wound up on 72 pages.
Four times 18.
Well, but if it wound up on, you know, a number of pages that added up to 18, you would have said, oh, it those two, that, you know, it adds up to 18.
No, I would not have. And also, like, we're, you know, I told you guys we're collecting all these toys for the playrooms for a couple of the kibbutzim that were destroyed in October 7th. And we were packaging up the boxes, and we're counting the number of toys that were in the boxes. And one of the boxes was Rubik's Cubes, and and I was numbering the boxes. And there were 36 Rubik's Cubes that wound up in box number 36.
Yeah, but
there you have it.
You know, but Perry, you go throughout your day.
Hey, the dumbest. You actually believe this shit, or you just trying to entertain people at home?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you playing a character?
Well, Perry, you know, you in life, so much shit happens that coincidences are inevitable, and it would be. The crazy thing would be if there were no such coincidences, because we do so many different things and we're involved in so many activities that there's going to be a coincidence at some point.
How many boxes were there?
There were almost 100.
So it was 1 out of 100 chance.
No, no, it wasn't 1 out of 100 chance.
How so?
There were 17 Lego sets and 43 Barbie dolls.
Right.
And so what are the
But however many Rubik's Cubes were in that box, there was 1 out of 100 chance it was going to be that box number, because there's only 100 boxes.
But what were the chances that we were going to have 36 Rubik's Cubes? I didn't know how many Rubik's Cubes we had.
It doesn't matter if it's 36. If it was 5 Rubik's Cubes,
it could have been in
or
box
99
number 5.
Rubik's Cubes, it would have been a 1 out of 100 chance it was in box number 5 or box number 99.
No.
What do you mean no? This is pretty simple math here.
5 Rubik's Cubes in box number 5 would not have resonated, because the number
36 is twice high.
Exactly.
So you believe in numerology too?
Yes.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
So what we know now is that I think we learned something about women. Let's be honest. You know, what's that old joke about the professor in front of the biology class, and it tells the frog to jump, and the frog jumps, and it cuts off one leg of the frog. Says, "Now jump," and the frog still jumps, cuts off another leg. You know this?
No, I don't think I know that.
Another leg. Finally, one leg of frog. Frog still jumps, cuts off the legs, and no frog. And the frog doesn't jump, can't. So the professor says, and now, class, what have we proven? We've proven that when you cut off all 4 legs of a frog, he can no longer hear. Somehow that reminds me of Periel. And I wanted to say one more thing about psychology. I meant to fucking ask her, and I forgot. This is my proof of psychology. And then we're going to go. If you meet someone, they never lie.
If you meet what?
You meet somebody, they never lie. They say, why don't you lie? Well, I never lie because I was raised by a father and mother who never lied to me. And I learned from that to be completely honest. You meet someone else, say, you never lie. Why don't you ever lie? Well, I never lie because my parents always lied to me. I can never believe anything they said. And I found this so upsetting that I swore I would never lie. My point being, from virtually any fact pattern, you can generate an explanation why it would cause the personality that you're seeing. And this is why it's bullshit to me. You don't follow me at all?
Yeah, but one of those.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm following you.
First of all, there is an explanation. I mean,
he's probably born with the gene that you know
that's an explanation too.
Yeah.
Well, how do you explain that? Like, you give her your number and then she really tells you what your archetype. I mean, do you believe in archetypes?
Of course, I believe in archetypes. What am I?
But your question is, do you believe that they can be predicted by your birthday?
Yeah. Yes.
Are you punking me? Of course. What am I, an idiot? Of course, I believe it. This is science.
So you do believe that your archetype can be determined by your birthday?
Of course. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have to go because it is 6:34, and if we don't end this now, we'll be ending at 6:35, and that would be, I don't have to tell you what that means. Good night, everybody.